Saltcedars are perennial shrubs or small trees. 8 to 12 species were intentionally introduced to North America in the 1800s from Europe and Asia, mostly for erosion control and as shade plants. Of the 8 to 12 species that were introduced, 5 have become invasive. 3 of these, Tamarax chinensis, Ramosissima, and parviflora, are responsible for the largest infestations in western North America. Because of similarities in their features, and also because of extensive hybridization in the field, differentiating species and hybrids is extremely difficult, and saltcedars are frequently lumped together on many state noxious weed lists. Although invasive saltcedars can be found throughout much of the U.S., they're primarily problematic in the West and are absent from Canada. Saltcedars are often found in moist habitats of arid regions, especially in saline soils. They readily invade lake and river margins and seasonal stream beds. Saltcedars dramatically reduce stream flow and groundwater. At one point, the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation estimated 1/3 of the total amount of water allowed to be taken from the Rio Grande was used by saltcedars. These weeds also reduce water quality by increasing the salinity of streams and groundwater. They often increase soil salinity to levels at which only saltcedars can survive. Dense thickets of saltcedar displace native riparian communities, drastically degrading wildlife habitat. Saltcedar thickets are highly flammable and have led to more frequent and higher temperature wildfires, which negatively impacts wildlife as well as the ranching sector. Saltcedars are perennial shrubs or small trees. Seedlings germinate rapidly after seeds have direct contact with water. Germination can occur throughout the year. Young plants quickly develop an extensive root system. Mature plants have long taproots as well as creeping lateral roots that can send out new shoots. Leaves are up to an 1/8 inch long, gray-green, overlapping, and scale-like, with salt-secreting glands. The foliage is deciduous. Tamarax chinensis, Ramosissima, and their hybrids can grow up to 26 feet tall, while Tamarax parviflora typically only grows to 16 feet. Stems of all saltcedars are green and flexible when young, becoming brown and woody with age. Stem fragments can sprout and produce new plants if the stem pieces come in contact with water. Some plants begin to flower their first year, but most flower in their third. Flowering peaks in spring and may continue through fall. Flowers of Tamarax chinensis, Ramosissima, and their hybrids often appear after foliage and in tight clusters 1 to 3 inches long on branch ends. Their individual flowers have 5 pink petals, about 2 millimeters long. In contrast, flowers of Tamarax parviflora appear before foliage in clusters less than 1 inch long, and their individual flowers have only 4 pink petals, less than 2 millimeters long. Fruits of all saltcedars are capsules that contain many tiny brown seeds, each topped by a tuft of fine hairs that is readily carried by wind and water. A large plant may produce several 100,000 seeds in a single growing season. These remain viable for less than 6 months. They do not survive the winter to the next spring season. In cold climates, plants lose their leaves over winter. Plants can grow year-round in warmer climates. The scale-like and gray-green foliage of saltcedars resembles that of western juniper. Western juniper is an evergreen conifer that produces berry-like cones instead of the pink flowers and capsule fruit produced by saltcedars.